Welcome to our deep dive.
Yeah.
And today we're going to be looking at, well, this is going to be interesting, communication and career success and personal branding, all
Always.
kind of tied together. And you've provided me with some excerpts from this book, Stop Sabotaging Your Career by Lois P. Frankel,
Okay.
and also a lecture about communication and branding. And we're even going to touch on the strange case of Jim Jones and how he used communication to influence his followers.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to connect all those.
Yeah, it is, right?
It is.
So we're going to extract the golden nuggets on how image, sound, and words impact your career. We've got Cuban accents, mob bosses, and Katie Couric's humility all in the mix today.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. So Frankel says that 90% of the impression you make isn't about what you say.
Wow, 90%.
90.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So like how we walk into a room.
Well, she breaks it down into how you look.
Mm-hmm.
That's 50%. How you sound is 40%, and the words you say are only 10%.
So basically, even if I have the best idea in the world, if I come in, I don't make eye contact, I mumble, I slouch, like nobody's going to listen.
Yeah, it's like having a great product, but the packaging is terrible.
Uh-huh.
Nobody's going to buy it.
Yeah.
So let's unpack those elements further, starting with accent and dialect. Frankel talks about this guy, Henry, thick Cuban accent, spoke super fast,
Yeah, and he was like a brilliant engineer, but constantly overlooked for meetings with clients. It really makes you think, how many times have we made assumptions about somebody just based on how they sound?
Yeah. It's a sensitive area,
Yeah.
but it's also an important one. The question Frankel asks is, can you be understood in your specific workplace? It's not about erasing who you are. It's about making sure your message gets through. Have you ever had to adjust how you communicate so you can be understood?
All the time. But
Yeah.
then it also makes me think like, okay, how much are we asking people to change who they are versus like the workplace being more accepting?
It's a two-way street.
Right. It is.
It is. So going beyond sound, Frankel goes into how we think and how it impacts our communication. She contrasts someone who rambles on with Colin Powell and how concise he was.
Sal was like a communication ninja. He got in, said what he needed to say, and got out, all with this air of authority. It's like he could read the phone book and everybody would be on the edge of their seats.
Exactly. And Frankel, she gives this framework based on his style. Pause, answer directly, give 2-3 supporting facts, and then stop.
Like a formula.
Yeah.
So we can learn that, right?
Right.
But what about situations where you need to be more persuasive? Like when you're presenting an idea.
It's a great point, because even if you're not on stage, we're all constantly presenting ideas.
To our boss, to our colleagues, right?
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
we all need to channel our inner Shakespeare.
Yes, that's the spirit.
Okay. I like that.
One of Frankel's public speaking hacks, the headline technique, you know that one?
Yeah.
Before you even start speaking, know that one key takeaway that you want your audience to walk away with.
So it's like you write the tweet before you write the whole article, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the headline and everything else just supports it. That makes so much sense.
Exactly. Now, speaking of communicating clearly, let's dive into EQ, emotional intelligence.
Okay, now this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Frankel contrasts these examples. Like Newt Gingrich and Martha Stewart. We all know their reputation for being, well, a little difficult.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have like Bill Clinton, who for all his flaws was super charming. He could connect with anyone.
Yeah.
It really shows the power of EQ.
Yeah, and it shows that EQ isn't just about being nice. It's about understanding your emotions and how they impact other people. The people who master that, they build stronger relationships, they navigate conflict, they just generally achieve more.
It's like having the secret weapon.
You could say that. And Frankel gives us a framework. There are 4 components to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's self-awareness,
Yeah.
then there's self-management, then there's social awareness, and finally there's relationship management.
So it's like, I need to know what I'm feeling, how to manage it. Then I need to understand what other people are feeling, and then how to manage my interactions with them.
Right. Frankel highlights these 5, I guess you could call them villainous character traits,
Yeah.
that can really sabotage your career. Condescension, abrasiveness, belligerence, blaming, and insensitivity.
Like those are bad.
Those are bad. But she also acknowledges that some people who display these traits have unique talents that make them valuable.
So they kind of get a pass, even though they're jerks.
It's like a It's like a Faustian bargain.
Yeah.
They get ahead because of their talent, but at what cost, you know?
I guess it's like anything, it's a balancing act. But surely at some point, the bad behavior is going to outweigh the talent.
Eventually, someone else will come along with the same talent, but without the baggage.
Right.
And then their days are numbered.
Yeah.
And that's where cultivating those positive EQ traits comes in.
Yeah.
The antidote.
Okay, so what's the antidote?
Kindness,
Uh,
honesty, humility,
Hmm.
genuineness, and you guessed it, self-awareness.
Yeah.
So we're like always talking about, getting ahead in your career, like you got to be cutthroat, ruthless. And now we're saying, no, be kind, be humble.
Yeah.
Those things matter.
Yeah. Absolutely. Think about the leaders that you really admire.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that that inspire loyalty and trust. They tend to have those qualities.
Yeah. It's like people might not remember what you said, but they remember how you made them feel.
Exactly. Now let's build upon those concepts.
Yeah.
Let's look at the idea of managing up. Frankel uses Carly Fiorina's high-profile ouster from HP as an example to kind of illustrate how crucial this skill is.
That was a huge story.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just, her business decisions. It was also like her relationships or lack thereof with the people above her.
Right. Her inability to manage up.
Manage up, yeah.
She gives an example of this woman, Sheila, who constantly butted heads with her boss. Turns out, he reminded her of her overbearing father. It's like we bring all of our history with us to the workplace.
We do.
But why? We're not children anymore.
Right. But sometimes we don't even recognize those patterns.
Yeah.
And that's why self-awareness is so important.
And she has this other example of Jim who would never challenge his boss. And it was because of it was his cultural background where deference to authority is, really ingrained.
Yeah. And that's a reminder that managing up can look different depending on your background.
Yeah. Okay, so spill the beans. How do we do this? How do we manage up?
Well, the first thing to remember is, your boss is human,
Oh.
just like you. They have strengths and weaknesses, just like you. So once you can accept that, you can kind of interact with them on a more like adult level.
It is so easy to fall into that like parent-child.
Right.
Especially if you've had a bad boss in the past.
Exactly. But Frankel, she offers some really good tips. She says, remember, bosses want you to make their job easier. They don't want to be embarrassed, and they want to know what you're doing without having to micromanage you.
So it's like anticipate what they need. Be proactive. Be reliable.
Right. And when you encounter those difficult bosses, she had some survival strategies. See the boss as the boss, not a parental figure.
Yeah.
Anticipate their difficult behavior. And most importantly, know when to walk away.
So sometimes managing up is managing yourself out of a toxic situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about protecting yourself and your career.
Yeah.
Now, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about the balance between detailed thinking and strategic thinking.
Okay.
Frankel uses Kenneth Lay and Enron as a cautionary tale.
Enron. That was a mess.
Big mess.
So Lay was the CEO, and he claimed he didn't know about the accounting fraud. He said he was like so focused on the big picture that he, missed the details.
Right. And whether he knew or not, it just really highlights how important it is to strike that balance between attending to the details and seeing the bigger picture.
Good.
So which one are you? Are you a details person or are you a big picture thinker?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Because knowing that can really help you choose the right career path.
Yeah.
Or, adjust your approach to your current job.
It's like that friend that remembers everybody's birthday, but they can't plan a trip to save their life.
Yes.
Or, the person who has like all these amazing ideas, but they can't actually execute on any of them.
Right. And Frankel gives this great example of Amanda, this talented PR pro. She was miserable as a benefits clerk.
Oh.
She needed more interaction with people.
Yeah.
And less detail.
She was in the wrong job.
Square peg, round hole.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, she talks about this brilliant artist who excelled at, like, the concept, but struggled with actually bringing those ideas to life.
So you need both, right?
You need both. You need to be able to see the big picture. You need to be able to attend to the details. It's like this toggle switch.
Yeah.
You need to be able to switch back and forth. And she even suggests, like, some exercises you can do to strengthen your strategic thinking.
Oh, like what?
Like, one is, don't take notes when somebody's talking to you, because then it forces you to listen more intently and to really grasp like the overall message instead of getting bogged down in the specifics.
I am a chronic note taker.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm missing the forest for the trees.
It's worth experimenting with.
Yeah.
Another tip, before diving into a project, ask yourself, what's the bigger picture here? And don't be afraid to question the rules. Stretch the boundaries.
So step back, challenge assumptions.
Yeah.
It's like be a detective, but for like strategy.
I love that. Okay, so now let's move on to the last piece of the puzzle, personal branding. So this is where we go from internal skills to how the world sees you. And Frankel, she compares us as individuals to, big brands like Coke and Nike.
Okay, so now we're talking about like building a brand for ourselves, like a marketing campaign, but for me.
Exactly. And this is where self-awareness really comes full circle.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just know your strengths and weaknesses. You have to project them outwardly in a way that resonates with your audience.
So it's more than just having a cool logo or, my website looks really
It's
nice.
deeper than that.
Yeah.
Frankel, she talks about consistency. Just like those big brands, you need to deliver on your promises
Hmm.
time and time again. So think about it. What's the one thing you want to be known for?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What's your legacy?
Like, what's my superpower? What's my like unique thing that makes me stand
Yeah,
out?
exactly. And once you identify that, you need to communicate it
Hmm.
through your actions, your words, even your appearance.
Yeah. It's like all those pieces have to fit together.
It's about aligning your internal reality with the external perception.
It's like you're building this reputation.
Yeah, brick by brick.
Yeah. You're always putting those pieces out there.
Right. And just like a strong brand, it attracts, loyal customers.
Mm.
A strong personal brand attracts opportunities, whether it's a promotion, a new job, even just the respect of your peers.
So it's like it's more than just getting ahead. It's
Yeah.
about like crafting a career and a life that is really true to who you are.
Absolutely. And that's what I think is, that's the ultimate goal of all of this,
Yeah.
to help you become the best version of yourself.
Yeah. So there you have it, listener name. We've covered, wow, communication, EQ, managing up, personal branding. That's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think the key takeaway here is self-awareness is everything. Knowing your strengths and weaknesses allows you to use them or to find work that really suits you.
Like, know yourself, right? And now for the $1,000,000 question. If you had to create a tagline for your personal brand right now, what would it be? What's the essence of you? What are those few words that people are going to remember? We'll leave you with that. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building that amazing personal brand. We'll see you next time.